They tell you a lot about getting older. They tell you about the wrinkles, the gray hair, the slower steps. They warn you about aching knees, about forgetting where you put your keys, about the growing collection of pill bottles on your kitchen shelf. But what nobody tells you is, the real changes aren't just in your body, they're in the way you see life. And that, my friend, is where the magic and the peace begin. You don't notice it all at once. It's not as if you wake up one morning, stretch your arms, and declare, well, there it is. I'm wiser now. No, it's quieter than that. It creeps in during the pauses, in the way you stop rushing to be first in line at the supermarket, in the way you choose to listen more and argue less, in the way you start to feel more joy in watching sunlight dance across the wall than in ticking off another task on a to-do list. It happens slowly, so slowly you hardly see it coming. But one day you realize. Your heart feels lighter. Your steps may be slower, but your spirit somehow moves faster toward what matters. Nobody tells you that the things you once thought were so important just aren't anymore. That promotion you worked late nights for? It doesn't mean as much as the memory of your child falling asleep on your chest. That car you once dreamed about? It's just 4 wheels and metal now, not a badge of your worth. It's not that you lose ambition. You simply trade it for peace. The ladder you once tried to climb doesn't look so appealing anymore, not because you're afraid of the height, but because you realize you've already climbed enough to see the view. And oh, what a view it is. When you're younger, you spend so much time looking forward. The next job, the next house, the next trip, the next milestone, the next, I'll finally be happy when moment. But getting older quietly teaches you to look around instead. To notice this moment, the one right here, the one you've been hurrying past for years. You stop measuring your life by how much you achieve and start measuring it by how deeply you've loved, how gently you've spoken, how often you've laughed until your cheeks hurt. Nobody tells you that your heart will soften in ways you never expected. You forgive people, not because they earned it, but because you deserve to be free of the weight. And you forgive yourself, too, for the mistakes, for the missed chances, for not knowing better when you were younger. You start to see your parents, if you're lucky enough to still have them, not as superheroes, but as fragile, complex humans who were just trying to do the best they could. And you see your children not as extensions of you, not as your reflection in the world, but as their own stories, their own dreams, their own destinies. They walk beside you for only a chapter or two before heading off to write the rest of their book without you. And instead of clinging, you bless their journey. Nobody tells you how much you'll come to treasure the ordinary. The smell of morning coffee drifting through the kitchen. The way your dog greets you at the door, like you've been gone for years. Even if you only stepped outside for a moment. The creak of the same chair you've sat in for decades. The sound of rain on the roof at night, a lullaby you never asked for, but always welcome. These moments, they become little prayers. Not because you're asking for something, but because you're quietly giving thanks for what already is. And nobody tells you how your definition of beauty will change. Beauty becomes the laugh lines on a friend's face, proof that joy has lived there. It's in the hands that have cooked meals, planted gardens, wiped tears, and held on through storms. It's in the softness of someone's voice when they say your name, like it's the safest place they know. You realize beauty has almost nothing to do with symmetry or smoothness. It's the story etched into someone's being that makes them breathtaking. They don't tell you that time feels different, too. Some days fly by in a blur, slipping through your fingers before you even realize you were holding them. Other days stretch out like a slow song, giving you room to breathe, to think, to be. And somewhere deep inside, you begin to understand that your time is not endless. That truth doesn't make you fearful. It makes you careful. Careful about where you spend it. Careful about who you give it to. You spend less of it chasing approval, and more of it sitting across the table from someone you love, talking about nothing in particular and finding that nothing is actually everything. Nobody tells you how much joy there is in letting go. letting go of grudges you've carried for years, letting go of the need to explain yourself to people who never truly saw you, letting go of the idea that you have to be everything to everyone. When you're young, letting go feels like losing. When you're older, you realize it's the only way to make room for what's meant to stay. And maybe most of all, nobody tells you how much more of yourself you'll become. When you're younger, you bend and twist to fit into other people's expectations. You say yes when you want to say no because you're afraid of disappointing someone. You try to be likable, agreeable, acceptable, but with age, you stand in your own shape and your own truth without apology. You wear your experiences like a favorite sweater, soft in some places, worn in others, and perfectly your own. So here's what I wish someone had told me. Getting older isn't just about decline. It's about refinement. It's about becoming more of who you've always been, but without the noise, without the rush, without the constant need to prove yourself. It's about finding beauty in imperfection, meaning in simplicity, and joy in the smallest, most ordinary moments. One day, if you're lucky, you'll wake up and realize you've stopped chasing the life you thought you were supposed to live, and you've started loving the life you have. And that, my friend, is the quiet, priceless gift nobody tells you about.